Hello and greetings. My name is Dr. VC Sontake and I am the course faculty for the course Engineering Thermodynamics. Objectives of this video lecture are to define ideal gas or perfect gas and to explain various gas laws. So let us first start our discussion with defining ideal gas. So an ideal gas, sometimes also called as perfect gas, is defined as a gas whose molecule occupy negligible space as compared to the volume of the container in which they are kept and having no forces of molecular attraction. So an ideal gas is an hypothetical gas. For ideal gas, the volume of the molecule is insignificant as compared to the volume of the container in which that ideal gas is kept. A gas which follows the gas laws at all ranges of pressure and temperature can be considered as an ideal gas. However, no such gas exists in nature actually. However, some of the real gases tend to follow these gas laws at low pressure and high temperatures. If pressure tends to zero and temperature tends to infinity, any real gas can behave as an ideal gas. Even when molecules of ideal gas interact or collide mutually, it is perfectly elastic collision. However, in ideal gas, there is no forces of molecular attraction. But even there is a molecular attraction, and by virtue of this molecular attraction, if molecules of ideal gases interact and collide, that collision will be perfectly elastic. That is, energy and momentum of the molecule will remain constant. Now, question comes, why real gases tend to behave as an ideal gases at low value of pressure and high value of temperature. So what happens actually at low pressure and high temperatures, that is P tends to 0 and T tends to infinity, gas molecules are far apart and their volume becomes negligible as compared to the volume of the container and hence no forces of molecular attractions. As you can see here, if high temperature and low pressure conditions are maintained, molecules are moving apart and hence molecular attraction will be reduced or there is no molecular attraction between these molecules. But at low temperatures and high pressure, gas molecules will move towards each other, they will come closer, and because of that, forces of molecular attraction will increase among the molecules. So it won't behave as an ideal gas. For example, some of the real gases like oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, noble gases, and air and superheated steam can behave as an ideal gas at low pressure and high temperature value. Then laws of ideal gases. The physical property of any ideal gas are controlled by the following parameters. Pressure exerted by the gas P, volume occupied by the gas molecules V, and temperature of the gas T in Kelvin. Now the behavior of any perfect or ideal gas undergoing any change in the above mentioned variable is governed by following laws. Now what happens whereas ideal gas undergoes any process or change of state, either its pressure, volume or temperature can change, and depending upon which one parameter remains constant and other two varies, there are different types of laws governing this variation. So the first law is Boyle's law, second law is Charles' law, third law is Gay-Lussac law, and fourth law is Joule's law. So let us start discussing these gas laws, starting from Boyle's law. This law was formulated by Robert Boyle in 1662. This law states that when temperature of unit mass of ideal gas is held constant, its pressure will change inversely to its volume, or its pressure is inversely proportional to its volume. So mathematically, when temperature of an ideal gas is kept constant, P is inversely proportional to V. That is, pressure is inversely proportional to volume of the gas. On removing the sign of proportionality, we will introduce one constant C. It becomes P is equal to C into 1 by V, or PV is equal to C. Okay. If the gas is undergoing a process by keeping its temperature constant, so I can write the Boyle's law for different states as P1V1 is equal to P2V2 is equal to P3V3 is equal to P1V1 is equal to constant, where N is number of states. Now I can also plot the relationship between the P and V. So if I plot, I will get this relation. Pressure and volume will vary in this fashion for a particular temperature, which will remain constant. If temperature increases, the pressure and volume will vary in this fashion. Here T2 is greater than T1. So the relationship between pressure and volume given by the Boyle's law when temperature is held constant is hyperbolic in nature. The variation of P and V will be represented by the curve, which will be actually a rectangular hyperbola. That is why the variation will be a curved line. Okay. So I can write Boyle's law at this state, let's say 1, and this is state 2. So at state 1 I can write it as P1V1, at state 2 I can write it as P2V2, and so on, so forth. Next law is Charles' law. This law was formulated by Jacques A.C. Charles in 1787. This states that when absolute pressure of a given mass of an ideal gas is held constant, its volume is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. Here, mind the word absolute temperature. Absolute temperature means it is represented in Kelvin. So mathematically, when pressure of a gas is kept constant, its volume is directly proportional to temperature. When sign of proportionality is removed, one constant will be introduced. So it becomes V is equal to Ct, or V by T is equal to C. For different states, I can law Charles' law as V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2, V3 by T3 is equal to Vn by Tn is equal to constant, where n is any number of state. If I take volume as a total volume, so V by T will be equal to constant. In similar fashion, I can also write the Charles law for a specific volume. If V is a specific volume, I can write the Charles law as small v by t is equal to constant. Or for different states, I can write it as v1 by t1 is equal to v2 by t2 is equal to small v1 by tn is equal to constant, where v is a specific volume and it is represented as total volume divided by mass of the gas. Now there is another version of Charles law which states that all perfect gases changes in volume by 1 by 273th of its original volume at 0 degrees Celsius for every 1 degree Celsius change in its temperature when its pressure remains constant. For example, let's say V0 is the volume of a given mass of ideal gas at 0 degrees Celsius, and Vt is the volume of same mass of gas, ideal gas, at T degrees Celsius. So what will be Vt according to the above statement? Total volume of the gas at temperature T will be summation of initial volume of the gas at 0 degrees Celsius plus T by 273. So I can also write this as Vt over T is equal to V0 over T naught. So this is another way of writing Charles law. In this equation, capital T is absolute temperature corresponding to T degrees Celsius and T naught is absolute temperature corresponding to 0 degree Celsius. Now from this equation, Vt is equal to V0 273 plus T degrees Celsius over 273 degrees Celsius. It is clear that if I decrease the temperature T, that is if I take the value of T in negatives, the volume of the gas will also decrease. So as the T decreases, volume of ideal gas also decreases. If I take the value of T as minus 273 degrees Celsius, 0 Kelvin, then volume of the gas at minus 273 degrees Celsius will be 0. So from here I can define one very important term called as absolute zero temperature. The temperature at which volume of an ideal gas becomes 0 is called absolute zero temperature, and its value will be minus 273 degrees Celsius or 0 Kelvin. So this is very important finding from Charles law's second statement. If you go on decreasing the temperature of an ideal gas, its volume will decrease, and at 0 Kelvin its volume will become 0, and that temperature is called as absolute zero temperature. Then third law is Gay-Lussac law. This law was formulated by Joseph Louis Gay-Lussac in 1808. This law states that when volume of a given mass of ideal gas is held constant, its absolute pressure is directly proportional to its absolute temperature. So mathematically, when volume of the gas is kept constant, pressure is directly proportional to temperature. On removing the sign of proportionality, P is equal to Ct or P by T is equal to C, where C is any constant. If a process is undergoing a process, if an ideal gas is undergoing a process, keeping its volume as constant, so for different states, I can write the Gay-Lussac law as P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2 is equal to P3 by T3 is equal to Pn by Tn is equal to constant, where n is number of states. So this way we have Boyle's law, Charles' law and Gay-Lussac law. Now general gas equation. Now Boyle's, Charles and Gay-Lussac law can be used when one of the property of any ideal gas remains constant to find out the relationship between other two properties of pressure, volume and temperature. But in actual practice, what happens is that pressure, volume and temperature vary simultaneously. It is not that P will remain constant, so you can find the relationship between V and T. In actual practice, all can vary simultaneously. And the equation which contains all three variables is called as the general gas equation. Now it is applicable to all gases. Let us derive general gas equation. From Boyle's law, I have this relationship PV is equal to constant, or V is inversely proportional to 1 by P. Let us say this is equation 1. From Charles' law, V is directly proportional to temperature. Let's say this is equation number 2. Combining equation 1 and 2 will give me V is proportional to T by P. On removing the sign of proportionality, one constant will appear and I will get one equation, PV by T is equal to constant, where C is any constant. So this equation PV by T is equal to C is called as general gas equation, and it can be applied for any other gases, and it can also use to find out the relations between three variables of ideal gas: pressure, volume and temperature, when they are varying simultaneously in any process. For different states of a process, general gas equation can be written as P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2 is equal to P3 V3 by T3 is equal to Pn Bn by Tn is equal to C, where n is number of states. Now the fourth law is Joule's law. This law was formulated by James Prescott Joule. This law states that change in internal energy of an ideal or perfect gas is directly proportional to the change in its temperature. That is, internal energy of an ideal gas is a function of its temperature only. Internal energy of an ideal gas is independent of its volume and pressure. It only depends upon its temperature. So mathematically, Joule's law can be expressed as, for an ideal gas, change in internal energy is directly proportional to change in temperature, where U is a function of temperature only. If dT is equal to 0, that is no change in temperature, du will be equal to 0. No change in internal energy of an ideal gas, or U is equal to constant, its internal energy will remain constant. So internal energy of an ideal gas is a function of temperature only. And the Joule's law is applicable for ideal gas only. You cannot extend this law to any other substance. Okay, please keep this important fact in mind. Characteristics gas equation, or it is also called as ideal gas equation. The characteristics gas equation or ideal gas equation provides a relationship between the pressure, volume and temperature of a particular gas or gas under consideration. Mathematically, this characteristic or ideal gas equation can be given as capital P capital V is equal to small m capital R capital T. that is PV is equal to mRT. In this equation, capital P is pressure of the gas considered in Pascal or Newton per meter square. Capital V is total volume of the gas in meter cube. Small m, mass of the gas in kilogram. Capital T, absolute temperature of the gas in Kelvin. And capital R is called as characteristics gas constant. Its value varies with the type of the gas. So different values will have different values of characteristic gas constant. Different gases will have different values of characteristics gas constant. Let us find out the unit of this characteristic gas constant. From equation 1, R can be expressed as PV is equal to MT. If I put the unit of P as Newton per meter square, B as meter cube, M as kg and temperature as Kelvin, I will get R is equal to Newton meter per kg per Kelvin. Newton meter is nothing but joule. So unit of characteristic gas constant will be joule per kg per Kelvin or kilojoule per kg per Kelvin. We can find out the value of R for air. At 0 degrees Celsius and 1.033 bar, that is atmospheric condition. These are also called as STP conditions. Volume of air is considered as 0.774 meter cube. Putting all these values in the equation 1 will give me value of R as 287 joule per kg per Kelvin. In the similar way, we can find out the values of R for oxygen, nitrogen, oxygen and other gases. Now there are different forms of characteristic gas equation. At this moment, let us not bother about how these equations have been arrived. So second form of characteristic gas equation, P small v is equal to RT, where small v is a specific volume of the gas equal to total volume divided by mass of the gas in meter cube per kg. It can also be written as P over rho is equal to RT, where rho is density of the gas, mass divided by total volume in kg per meter cube. Another version is capital PV is equal to small n R suffix ut. In this equation, small n is number of moles given as mass of the gas divided by its molar mass. So m is molar mass of the gas. Its unit is kg per kilomole. Ru is called as universal gas constant. Its value is taken as 8314 joule per kg mole per Kelvin. How this value we have got, that can be discussed in Avogadro's law and finding out the values of universal gas constant from Avogadro's law. Now we can also set up the relationship between universal gas constant and characteristic gas constant, and it is given as Ru is equal to R into M, where M is molar mass of the gas. So this is very important relationship between universal and characteristic gas constant. Next version of ideal gas equation is capital PV is equal to capital NKT, where capital N is total number of molecules. It is given as product of small n into A, where A is Avogadro's number, 6.023 into 10 to power 23 molecules per gram mole, or 6.023 into 10 to power 26 molecules per kg mole. Small n is number of moles, small m divided by m, and K is called as Boltzmann constant. It is the relationship between Ru and Avogadro number, and its value is 1.38 into 10 to power minus 23 joule per molecules per Kelvin. Please read this as 1.38 into 10 to power minus 23 joule per molecules per Kelvin. So after watching this video, you will be able to define ideal gas. You will be able to explain various gas laws and aspects of various gas laws, general gas equation, characteristic gas equation, and various forms of characteristic gas equation. With this, I come to an end of this video lecture. Thank you for your kind attention and passionate listening. Happy learning.